It's Atlanta's #1 hip-hop station, Hot 107.9 and home for the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Of course, you know it's your folk, B-High. Radio shouted. Stepping in the building, I got my 2-9 partner in this thing. Jace, what's good with it, boss?
Yeah, gang. 2-9. Yeah, all that.
Already. I mean, let's get straight to it, though, Jace. I mean, it's Jace Tape.
Yeah,
I had to sit back and let this tape marinate, man. You understand that? I mean, the production on it was totally different. You was coming with different styles on that thing, and there are a lot of bangers on there. Tell me about putting that thing together, boy.
It was a lengthy process. It had different incarnations and different stuff for about a year and a half, 2 years, but it was just a culmination of all my experiences from going on tour and just being with my gang and being with Mike and being away from home and all types of stuff, and it was a fun experience. It was a hard experience. It was a long experience, but you know I got it done and I put it together, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out.
I can definitely dig that. I mean, that jump with my boy Don Cannon, man.
Oh yeah,
that
I was just about to call him,
man.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
He came through with that.
Yeah.
Initially that was a song with me and Quinn Miller. It's a version with me and Quinn on there.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, we might drop that one of these days. But yeah, so he heard it, and then Mike heard it, and they were both just like, man, you know what I'm saying? The way you started off that hook, you might just want to body it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I just had to go back in over it. But Cannon been the homie, and Cannon always shows love and always tries to work with me. And he always, you know, just supports the kids. So he definitely came through on that. And he definitely said, he was like, I'm trying to get one on there, bro. Like, I'm going to send you something. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Shout out to
guy
Cannon.
right there. I mean, another joint on there, though, man, that Dirty.
Oh yeah.
You know, you kind of bodied that track, boy.
Yeah, that was I was kind of weird. I was kind of hesitant about that song just because, you know, just for some artistic reasons. But I played it for Mike.
Yeah.
When we was out in LA a little bit after I did it. I recorded at my homeboy Mitch crib who made the song.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really played it for anybody. I hadn't played it for my manager. I hadn't played it for anyone because I was just kind of on the fence about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had it queued up to the beats when we was in LA. We were just in the living room. And I've been playing shit, and it would just happen to be the next song to play. And then Mike heard it. He was like, man, what's that, bro? And I was like, man, that's just some shit I did, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, that's crazy, man. You got it, though. And this was like maybe 8-9 months before the project even was like about to drop. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, man, it's got to go on there. So shouts out to Mike for the vision.
Already, man, that boy Mike. I mean, another bang on that, though, man, that Lick Reed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, tell me about it. Jeremiah on that thing. I mean, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, that was an old song, too.
What?
The Ducko, my homeboy Ducko produced, and Mike heard it a long time ago. Mike just got the vision. Every time Mike hears something, he goes, but Mike heard it, and he was like, damn, bro. Man, this shit hard, but, man, what if, you know what I'm saying? What if, you know, I think I got an idea. That's all he said. And then, he sent it to me. And it just had Jeremiah's vocals over, and I was like, "Wow, that's tight." So that was a cool little surprise.
Yeah.
But again, that's just Mike with the vision.
That's right. Now, I mean, I saw that visual for that Midas, though, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that. What was it like putting the visual behind the music on that one?
It was fun. It was just fun. It was just me throwing money around and acting stupid and crazy with my friends.
Yeah.
Rob Banks is my boy. Shouts out to him from Miami, and just Kurt came out and Siege was with me. Johnny was with me, Dave. Everybody was with me. Key was in LA, but it was just me and my gang turned up.
I mean, you and your gang, man. I mean, y'all been holding it down for a long time, man. I mean, can you tell me about the camaraderie in that 2-9, and I mean, how y'all managed to keep the party going as a unit?
Man, keeping the party going always. I don't know. It really just comes from once you share certain experiences with people and certain struggles and certain hardships and certain victories with people. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much certain situations or certain, things outside of that friendship or that bond change, you know what I'm saying? That bond never changes. So it's just like we done been so down and out with each other. And so just, you know what I'm saying, just trying to make this dream work and make music, it's just like it kind of forms something that's very hard to break, that's very hard to temper with. And, that's all I can say to, kind of attest to how close we are and why we stick together. It's just like, man, we was all hungry at the same time, man. Yeah. So, you gonna keep trying to eat with the people you remember being hungry with. So.
Already. I mean, I first got familiar with the movement on that Retro Sushi with that OJ the Juice Man. That was my joint right there, personally. When I heard that thing drop, I said, these boys right here, they got some business going on around here. I mean, tell me, what was it like during that time when y'all were just kind of jumping off the porch with it and the movement was starting to crank up?
That was a real cool time. It feels like it wasn't that long ago, but I think back that's almost like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
But that's like 3 summers ago exactly. But that was cool because it's interesting because my boy Trap Money Benny, who does a lot of our stuff, he produced that song, and he's out here now. We about to work again. But that was a cool time just because Juice just kind of, you know what I'm saying, we all had mutual friends and homies within the industry and stuff, and Juice just was so open to it. Like, I think he had maybe heard a song or two of ours, and that was really just in passing, like someone just playing something in the studio, and he was just like, "Yeah, man, they from East Atlanta, they from this shit, man. Shit, man, let's lock in." You know, Caveman brought him over, and he just locked in with us. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Juice, man. I always have love for Juice for even doing that and just messing with some youngins. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, I always appreciate people that can have the vision and see something that's not necessarily there yet. You know what I'm saying? Or necessarily exactly it to everybody else, but they can kind of see what's there.
Yeah.
And he was definitely one of those early people, especially within the old guard of Atlanta, to really, you know, just be down with the movement. We brought him out of Beer and Tacos at Phillips Arena. Shouts out to Juice, man.
I mean, 3 summers is a long time. I mean, that slick makes you a young OG in the game. How do you feel being in the game, and what are some of the things that you done learned over those 3 summers that you're applying today?
Man, the main thing I've learned over them 3 summers, and then I've learned all the summers before that, is, man, just you gotta stick with squad, man. Yeah. That's one of the main things, or the most important thing I've learned, man. It's just, man, I've always had whatever limited or whatever amount of success I've had is I can attribute to keeping the people that have been close to me continuously. You know what I'm saying? Through up and down, you know what I'm saying? Through the hardships, through the triumphs, it's been the same people around me, and that I think that is the biggest key to whatever success I've seen. You know what I'm saying? I've known even my manager I've known for like almost 9 years now, 8-9 years now, and he hasn't even been managing me that long. That's just how long I've known him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just stuff like that. I feel like is priceless. You know what I'm saying, within this industry and within this game. And if you have it, and if you have friends like that and people like that in your life that you can avail yourself of to help you achieve your dreams and do what you're doing, man, stick close to them people. And that's all I did, man.
Now, I know you were back and forth to New York for a second there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about that transition and that experience.
Man, it's just a different vibe. It's just different. It's all types of different stuff. It's more spread out, you know. You said it, and it just made me miss New York. I miss my mom and stuff now. But you know, it was an easy adjustment, you know, because I had my family, my mom, my sister. I got a twin sister. Yeah. You know, but at the same time, I did an interview the other day with Revolt, and one of the interviewers was interviewing me, and she was like, "Well, they told me, I was gonna have a hard time understanding rappers from Atlanta, but I really understood him really well." And it's just like, I think that was kind of hard because I didn't always talk like everybody else for a while. I couldn't really like inflect that accent or that tone, so I always sounded like weird or different to people. That was always the song. But otherwise, you know what I'm saying? I love Atlanta. I love being down here.
Already. I mean, did New York affect your creative process at all while you was up there, though?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different... That's why I have such a mixture. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a whole different vibe. It's a whole different scene. It's trains. Yeah. It's just like... It's even if you look at it like... If you ride... This is how I've always... If you ride down like any city street in New York, you know what I'm saying? You can see... Like, and you kind of try and set like the scenery to a tempo... And like where the blanks are and everything, it's very like filled. It's very, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's very like, it's a lot into it because that's what you're seeing. You're seeing it's like building, sidewalk, but then like if you ride to Atlanta, it's chiller, it's like tree. Yeah. Tree. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different vibe, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the difference between, you know what I'm saying, an Outkast and a Mobb Deep to me. Yeah. So, it definitely affected. Because I used to do a lot of my writing on the train, like on my way home from work and stuff. And just, you write, at least I write personally, just from scenery and based off what I'm looking at. Yeah. That's even why I watch movies when I write a lot, because I'm very visual when it comes to my writing. So, it definitely played a part in my creative process, and especially like even the flows or the stuff that I will come up with in New York is different from the stuff I come up with, when I'm here. Right. But that's just, it's a good thing. I think it helps with diversity. You know?
Exactly. Now, I mean, I know you got another tape on the way with that boy Key, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, all I can say is, man, no one is ready, man. No one is ever ready, man. Like we back in the studio with Benny,
Yeah.
who was you know what I'm saying, was the on the original No One Is Ready. He was the executive producer.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about this one just because, you know, they did the second one. Key did a second one. I think he did that with Man for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the third one. Me and Key did the third one together, but it didn't have any songs from Benny on it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first No One Is Ready where it's like, it's just me, Key, and Benny again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just that core what made the original, so had people gravitate, that sound that people gravitated to so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which I feel like we achieved with even with No One Is Ready 3 and No One Is Ready 2 was tight. But it's just a certain vibe that me, Key, and Benny can produce, you know what I'm saying, where everything click. So that's always exciting. And, you know, it's No One Is Ready. You never know when it's going to drop because you can't be ready for it. So just know it's on the way. It's coming soon. You're not going to be ready. You're just going to wake up and it's going to be full. So
You as a solo artist versus being in the group and rapping with the crew, I mean, what are those different vibes like? Because is it the same thing when you're going in there, you know, all right, man, I just need to go ahead and outsnap 5 folks right fast? Or is it a case of when you end up by you say, like, man, I got to come up with 2 verses for this hard-ass track? How you figuring that stuff out?
Oh, the recording process has always been, for the most part, a group process.
Mm-hmm.
So it hasn't really been too much to figure out or too much to switch around.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing is, you know, now when I'm recording, sometimes like I'll be out of state, like I'll be in LA or Miami for a while, maybe New York for a while, and they won't be around. And that's been an adjustment because they're kind of like my security blanket.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, that's the litmus test if something's like hard. Like I'm looking for, if they're in the studio, I'm looking at them. Like if I'm playing something new, like, you know, I'm playing it just a vibe. Like I'm not saying like, let me play this for you. Like tell me if you like it. But you know, you throw it on and then you see like, you know, you look at what your brothers is looking like. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Kurt rock with that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's different when I'm by myself and I'm, you know, in the studio and it's just like me and maybe one other person and the engineer. Because I don't have that security, so I don't know if it's hard. So I'm literally like, that was fine. You know, I'm asking the engineer who I just met, who's getting paid to be there. You don't want to say, hey man, nah, that was whack. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so that's been the only thing that's kind of been weird for me. But whenever they're around or whenever I can have, you know, 1 or 2 of my gang members around, you know, with me in the yo, it's just a level of comfortability because that's how we've been rocking for so long, and that's just what we've been doing. And, you know, it just helps me. It provides a certain level of security. So I'll be like, yeah, you snapped on there. Because, you know, your boy said you snapped on there.
Already. Now, I mean, having a guy like Mike Will behind you working with you, man. I mean, because we all saw Mike get it out the mud himself. Mm-hmm. So as a visionary to be able to hit y'all with his vision and say, all right, man, this is where y'all can go and this is how y'all can get it done. How do you feel having a guy like that in your corner?
It feels good. You know what I'm saying? It shows, you know, even just from what you said, it shows his humility and, you know, how humble he is from knowing where, you know, where he got it out of and what he had to do to get where he's at now. And the fact that he saw something of that within us and even within me, I think speaks, you know, and is a testament to my gang's talents and my talents. And it's good to know and it's good to be in that musical space and know that you guys have a vibe and you guys connect and you guys, you know, with someone who's such an esteemed producer and so good at what he does, the fact that, you know, you can click with somebody like that and work and have them in your corner creatively as well as, you know, going to bat for you for the labels or whatever. You know, a lot of you hear, I've never heard these stories personally, but you hear stories about, you know, you can't reach the head of your label or he's not in none of your sessions or he's not sending you beats or, you know what I'm saying, he ain't helping you with nothing. As busy as Mike is, you know what I'm saying, I know I can always hit him, you know what I'm saying? And I know I can always get in touch with him at some way, somehow, you know what I'm saying? And we can hash it out. And, you know, whenever we in the studio, it's just vibes, man. We all go off vibes, and it's just a vibe every time.
Already. Now, I mean, back to this Jace tape, man. I mean, you had that boy Ali mixing that thing, man. Break that down to me.
Man, Ali he showed love. He showed love, man. Shouts out to TDE, man. Shouts out to my boy Ali, man. He literally sat in there with me, man. He was mixing Kendrick's Untitled Unmastered.
Yeah.
And he would literally just go between rooms and he would like go in there with Kendrick and for like 3 or 4 hours and mixing stuff down. And then he would, Kendrick obviously came first. And then he would come over to my side, and then he would sit in there with me, and we would roll up and we would smoke, and he would be like, "You rock with that?" And it would even, the same thing I said about Mike, knowing that same thing goes for him, knowing how esteemed he is and how talented he is at what he does, but for him to have, the humility to just sit there with a kid who's just working and trying to get his dreams out of his head.
Yeah.
To really sit in there, you know what I'm saying? Not like send me the tracks and I'll mix them. Like to really sit in there till 6, 7 in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And ask my opinion and vibe with it, and, really listen and do what he did with it was cool to see. And it just, I don't know, it was tight. Shouts out to him for that, man. I appreciated that a lot. So
Now, I mean, another question though, man. I mean, being with that 2-9, one thing that I have witnessed about y'all boys, y'all got it out the mud also, and it got a real, true, organic grassroots following that has spread it like wildfire. I mean, how were y'all able to pull that off though, man? Because I mean, it just looked like y'all just said, you know what, fellas, let's go out here and get this thing and take it over.
man, my pops used to tell me something when I was younger, and he told me if you want to really succeed in what you're doing, you have to burn and cut off all your other options, all your other lifelines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a phrase called "burn the ships." It's when
Yeah.
Cortez went to go discover gold with some people. I believe it was Cortez, and they were complaining they hadn't found any gold. So to get his men to commit to finding the gold and knowing that was their only way home, he burned all the ships, and they found the gold, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
So I luckily just linked up with a bunch of young people that had already burned all their ships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got it out the mud because that was all we were in. It was, there wasn't no lifeline tied around us.
Yeah.
None of us lived with our parents. None of us was in school. You know what I'm saying? We was all just like really out there. You know what I'm saying? And when you link up with that many people who have no ships, it kind of drives you towards, achieving your goals. I don't necessarily want to say like necessarily makes you the most successful person, but if you have that many people who have no other option, you know what I'm saying, who have no other way of getting it, then I can definitely say your chances and your likelihood of succeeding and spreading your dream and what you wanted to happen as far as you want is highly increased if you do that. So that's what I can say about that.
Now I know on Fridays, man. I mean, you're gonna be tearing stuff up, man.
Oh yeah.
Break that down to me.
Every Friday for like the next month or two. Well, I think it might be the next 8 weeks. I'm just dropping something. I'm dropping a song. Probably it's just like this is stuff that is just like it's flames. Like it's not for no project. This ain't no project, nothing. This ain't no album, nothing. This is just so people know that it's still everything's still going on. Everything's still happening. I feel like a lot of the times, artists get in this place where it's just like, all right, I got something out, so I gotta just push this, and that's important.
Yeah.
You gotta push, your main thing, but you also always gotta, at least to me, you gotta throw out little flares to keep attracting people to your main event. You gotta keep throwing off little fireworks. Where people like, dang, what's that over there?
Exactly.
What is going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm letting fireworks off every Friday.
I mean, speaking
like
of
2 months.
fireworks, though, I mean, you got a concert coming too, though.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, I got a concert. Was the 19th, the 10th with Young Lean. Shouts out to Young Lean. I met him a while ago. He's super dope. I met him in South by like 2 years ago. So yeah, we got a show at the Loft on the 10th. ATL, come rock with me. This is my first legitimate show in Atlanta since the tape drop. It's not a J show per se, but it's my first time performing in the city since my tape drop. So I'm pretty excited about it. I haven't had a chance to perform any of my new stuff in front of none of the people in the city. So, I'm excited to do that. And yeah, it's gonna be tight. So come through.
I mean, back and forth to LA and Miami with it. I mean, how is that for you, man? When you find yourself on the road all the doggone time?
Yeah, man. I've been back and forth. LA is a second home now, man. As much as I hate to say it, LA, I'm there so much. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. It's strenuous on some things, and it's better for a lot of things. I get a lot more work done when I go out to LA versus to like other places like New York, just because my family's there. So I'll try and run around and visit them, and Miami just because it's Miami. But it has its ups and downs, and it's good and it's bad, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I'm always glad to be able to get away and do what I love to do, as much as I love to do it here. But LA is a whole different vibe. Miami's a whole different vibe, and it's good to catch different waves when you can, because it influences your work and your creative output. So shouts out to LA.
I can definitely dig that. I mean, anything else you got to get off your chest, though, my dog.
Man, it's one thing over everything, man. That's 29. That's all. That's all I ever really got to say. Other than that, you can follow me on my Twitter, Retro Jace. Also follow me on Instagram, Retro Jace, RETROJACE. And all my social media handles is Retro Jace, man. Just follow me. Jace Tape is out right now. No One's Ready 4 on the way. 2-9 album on the way. Ransom 2 on the way. Man. Eardrum of Summer.
I can definitely dig that with Jay.
Boy.
Appreciate you coming through this thing, my dog. Wish you nothing but the best of what you said, boy. Be High Radio Shout. It's out 107.9, man. Let's go.
You.